Hi, so welcome to the next episode in our strategic case study masterclass. In this episode, I want to introduce you to strategic case study generally and walk you through the entire syllabus, putting you on your toes in relation to the various things that you need to understand in the entire syllabus. So it's going to be like I am actually going to finish the syllabus in this episode. In other words, I'm going to guide you on when which model can be applied, which model can be used, how we can then structure our studies up. Then after this episode, we're going to be then taking the modules one after the other. So let's get excited straight up into the discussion. So introduction to strategic case study. Now, generally, the strategic case study is divided into a couple of things. Yes, we're going to be having the introductory discussion. That is what I want to do in this episode. From there, we're going to be looking at the macro environment. Then we will look at the competitive or the industry. Then we will come to the issue in relation to the internal environment. The internal environment. After that, we're going to be spending some time to possibly look at the international environment. Okay, I hope you get that. Then we're going to be looking at some other issues like strategic choices. Then, which is also the same as alternative, strategic choices. Then we're going to come to strategy implementation and change management as well here. Then we're going to come to corporate parenting. All right. Let me position this a little bit because I want to make sure that we have a certain diagram coming up. Then we'll come to governance and risks management. Then possibly we can come to other issues like performance measurement, investors' decision, and others. We'll come to that. So this is the structure of the walkthrough generally for us when it comes to the strategic case study syllabus and how we can then position ourselves to ultimately pass the examination. And so, what I want to do in this particular intro is to walk you through all of these various things to enable you to understand how we can study. Now, so the question we have to ask ourselves is, hey, what is strategy? Now, there are a lot of definitions for strategy by Chadler, Peter Drucker, Johnson, Schultz, and Whittington, and certainly Henry Mitzberg. But because this is a masterclass area, I'm not going to be going through all of the definitions for strategy. I'm going to sum up everything about strategy from the definition by Professor Henry Mitzberg. And like I told you in the beginning, I'm going to be using our strategic case study manual as a point of reference. So all my discussions are going to be referencing, or I'm going to be referencing the strategic case study manual that I have published, and you can get a copy of it. Like I said, there are a lot of school of thoughts or definition for strategy, and it is difficult to really have a one-liner definition for strategy. So let me pull the question possibly back to you. If I asked you what is strategy, what would you say? Okay, so what is your strategy to study strategic case study? What is your strategy to pass the exams? What is your strategy to achieve your financial freedom or financial independence? What is your strategy about your finances, about savings? So basically, strategy has to do with what someone intends to do in order to help to achieve a certain intended objective or goal. So, for instance, if you want to pass the strategic case study examination at one sitting, then you need to adopt a strategy that enables you to study effectively to understand the syllabus. What does that strategy look like? Possibly, it could mean having 2 times a week by yourself where you are studying strategic case study on your own in addition to joining the live lectures. That could be a strategy. Then in addition to that, you're going to be practicing questions, doing assignments, but that is, individuals. Companies also must develop strategy because remember, our goal is to help the company to gain sustainable competitive advantage. Gaining sustainable competitive advantage means that we become the preferred brand or preferred choice for the customers. Number two, it means that we become the benchmark for our competitors. In other words, when competitors are seeking to do something, they measure their performance against us. And number three, sustainable competitive advantage means we dominating the market and ultimately becoming a market leader. That is the ultimate goal. So, how do we get that? How do we become the preferred brand on the market? How do we become the benchmark that our competitors will refer to us? And how do we consistently increase our market share and become the market leader in the marketplace? It means we need a strategy. So, what then is strategy? The strategy is that which we are going to be doing on a consistent basis over a long period of time to ensure that we become the preferred brand, we become the benchmark, and most importantly, we increase our market share to become the market leader. So, that is the idea generally about strategy. But to knit all these together, like I said, we're going to be using Professor Henry Mitzberg's definition of strategy or what he thinks should be included when we are defining strategy. So, according to Henry Mitzberg, strategy should be a plan. This refers to a carefully crafted set of steps that a firm intends to follow in order to be successful. A carefully crafted set of steps. So, this is the beginning. If we say this is going to be a strategy, it should be something that we have carefully structured. Two, strategy must be a ploy. It means that it's a specific move designed to outfit or trick competitors. If we are doing something and our competitors can do it, it is not a strategy. If we are doing something and our competitors can equally do that, that cannot lead us to become the preferred brand. That cannot lead us to become the standard. That cannot lead us to increase our market share. So a strategy must be a ploy. It shouldn't be easily copied by someone else. So for instance, let's say we want to increase our sales. Then we launch buy one, get one free. That is something our competitors can equally do. Three, patterns. This means the degree of consistency in a firm's strategic actions. So remember, this is not something we are doing overnight. This is something that we are going to be doing over a long period of time. So it is about the consistency of what we are doing. So you cannot just say, oh, today I am doing this, then tomorrow you are doing something else. It's not going to be possible. So it must be consistent. Four, position. This refers to the firm's place in the industry relative to its competitors. Before you can design any strategy and you can conclude and say this strategy is effective, this strategy is going to be efficient, you must know your position. Are you a newbie? What is your market share? What is your level of dominance in the marketplace? We must know our position. And the fifth thing is perspective. What is perspective? Perspective simply means that how the executives of the company interpret the competitive landscape around them. Listen, if the management do not understand the competitive landscape, then they will select wrong strategies and certainly we won't get to anywhere. So we must understand the competitive landscape. So this is why the environmental analysis is very crucial in the context of industry analysis, where we're going to be looking at the Porter's five forces later on in the discussion. So that is the idea about what should be included according to Professor Henry Mitzberg in defining strategy. It should be a carefully crafted set of steps that is designed to specifically outfit competitors, undertaken over a period of time with the understanding of the place or the position of the company within the industry, with the understanding of the level of competitiveness in the industry. That is what we mean by strategy. Now, There are a couple of other issues. I'm not going to be going into that in the introduction, but there are a couple of other issues like the mission of the company, the vision of the company, goals. And we're going to be getting into some of these things later on, or you can just scan, read them, because I want to really get excited and walk you as an overview in the syllabus and share with you the various models that we're going to be talking about and when those models are going to be coming in. So let's go.